My name is Trevor Payne. I'm Director of Estates at the University of Oxford. We purposely partnered with SmartViz on this project because we wanted to understand our space, and we needed to understand our space in real time. I'm responsible for a huge, complex and beautiful heritage estate in Oxford. It's not like a traditional campus, it's more like the city, if I'm honest, because there are so many different buildings of different ages, different complexity and different uses. So from an estate's perspective, it's a really interesting, rewarding and challenging job. So the university's got a really clear strategy which is looking ahead to the next sort of 5 to 10 years and beyond. And there's a real focus on making sure that we support world-class research, world-class teaching experience. We're the #1 university in the world. We need to make sure that we continue to invest in the estate to remain in that position. So it's making sure that we're looking at the maintenance and the upgrade. In parallel with that, we're also looking at how we develop and build and bring forward high-class research and teaching facilities and new buildings that we need. On top of that, there's a big push around digital transformation and making sure that we use the estate in a smarter way and we use technology. What we wanted to do was to get an understanding of, okay, so how are we using our estate now? Which are the buildings that are highly utilised? Which are the spaces that we need more of because there's demand for them? All of that's driven by information. And the key thing is about information close to real time. It's in the moment information. It's not something linked to a survey that I did 6 months ago because things change day to day. So it's making sure that we have access to really good, really timely, detailed information to enable us to make decisions. And what was driving that was to understand the estate that we've got, because each of the buildings that we've got are costly to operate. We have to clean them, we have to maintain them, we have to secure them. We want to make sure that we're using our estate wisely. We purposely partnered with SmartViz on this project because we wanted to understand our space, and we needed to understand our space in real time. And we need to make sure that we link the information we've got to timetabling and scheduling so that we start to plan in a different way. What SmartViz allows you to do is to visualize that information in different ways. So you can color code it, you can heat map it, you can sort of zoom in and do trails of how people have moved through the building. So it starts to bring the data to life. And that's really important when you're starting to try and get support to make some quite bold decisions. And that might be moving buildings, closing buildings, consolidating people from 3 buildings into 1 building. They're difficult things to discuss, and quite often you'll get pushback because the data isn't robust. Actually, the data is robust with SmartViz because it's there all the time in the background collecting this information. So you've got the trends, you've got the patterns that you can go back into the history, but it allows you to paint a picture in different ways to suit different audiences. So that's where I think SmartViz starts to become really, really useful in terms of giving you the hard factual data, but also giving you a way of showing that to a multitude of different audiences so they can digest it in different ways. So one of the things we're using SmartViz for at the moment is to understand how we're using the exam school, which is one of our beautiful heritage buildings, and we know that we need to do some work in there, but to do that we're going to have to provide some decant space. So what we're doing is, in the background, understanding how we use spaces at the moment to demonstrate how much space we need to provide for decant purposes when we take that building out of operation to do the essential work that we need to do. That's really important because what we don't want to do is disrupt the academic delivery and the student experience. So we need to make sure we provide the right space at the right quantity in the right location. SmartViz is helping us understand how we do that. We've spoken about SmartViz and building management. We need to link it to facilities management software. We need to link it to our security systems so that we can start to understand how people transition across campus, not just through buildings, actually across campus, so that we can make sure that we are responsive and we're sort of targeting areas to make sure they're cleaned. If we know that a particular area is really busy at lunchtime, we need to make sure that we've got people in there emptying the bins and making sure the place is clean, and those sorts of things. We can use data to inform how we can operate in a more effective way, but in a way that really supports how the organisation wants to operate. And it goes back to that experience piece. And in doing that, we're ticking the box around the environment because we're working in an effective way, in an efficient way, and we're being efficient in terms of costs.